How do you manage a cattle herd numbering in the thousands? This is a question every rancher wants an answer to. Raising and managing a large herd of cattle is no easy task and is incredibly costly. To address this challenge, some cattle ranchers have come up with a bold yet highly effective solution: managing cattle from across Australia, a country with a total cattle population of 29.9 million. About 372 miles southwest of Darwin, Australia, during the morning rush, an Australian family gathers cattle by helicopter. Today's challenge is to coordinate around 1,500 cattle, which the helicopter will drive to the designated gathering point. Cattle herds in South Australia are substantial in scale. Ranchers there work year-round to gather roughly 81,000 cattle on their 1.3 million acre property. The feeling of piloting a helicopter while directing an immense herd of cattle is unlike anything else. It's a combination of technique and instinct. In the past, it might have taken 20 men to gather cattle at a muster yard, a process that could last up to 3 days. Now, one helicopter can complete the job in just half a day. Helicopter mustering has revolutionized Australia's beef industry, enabling it to keep up with massive global demand for cattle meat. There are over 28 million cattle raised across the US. In the American West, the majority of these cattle are free range. Managing such large numbers of free-ranging cattle across thousands of acres of land is no simple task, as it is both time-consuming and labour-intensive. Traditional herding methods, like horseback riding, have lost much of their effectiveness. Farmers spend countless hours moving cattle between grazing areas, monitoring each animal and ensuring none stray or get injured. To address these challenges, this approach: first, helicopters can cover vast expanses of land in a short amount of time. They are extremely useful for monitoring cattle across challenging terrains. This includes hills, forests, or wetlands. From the aerial perspective, American ranchers gain a comprehensive view of the tracking herd's condition and guiding them towards specific grazing zones. Helicopters equipped with GPS technology allow farmers to observe and anticipate potential issues. This also helps them to keep cattle from straying too far or preventing certain animals from wandering away from the herd. Additionally, the aerial view helps farmers identify any cattle showing unusual symptoms. Early detection can prevent disease spread within the herd and ensure a timely veterinary care for any sick animals. In areas with limited grazing land, to ensure safety and minimize stress during transit. Before each flight, farmers refuel and conduct thorough helicopter inspections. This is an important step to minimize risks when flying. The sound of the helicopter's engine cuts through the quiet of the plains. From above, the entire herd is visible, numbering in the thousands. They graze peacefully, scattered across valleys and hills. Some might argue that using helicopters in ranching is costly due to the substantial initial investment. However, with a one-time investment, ranchers can use helicopters for years, reducing labor costs and realizing long-term profits. Moreover, the ability to quickly and accurately manage cattle herds ensures healthier livestock. This leads to better quality meat and milk products, increasing farm profitability. During the grazing season, ranchers must round up cattle that have wandered across hundreds of acres. A mate can, ducking under trees or running along riverbanks. The lapse in the pilot's focus can be fatal. Numerous people have lost their lives in helicopter accidents. Another difficulty comes from harsh weather. Strong winds can make helicopter control more dangerous than ever. Sometimes helicopters must fly low to avoid winds, dense foliage, and rugged hills. The safety of the pilot is paramount, more important than catching cattle trying to escape. farmers can return and gather them at another time. With skilled flying, the pilot must maneuver so that the cattle don't panic while moving in the right direction. The helicopter circles, gradually lowering and swooping close to the ground to herd cattle into designated areas. Ground crew in pickup trucks follow behind, gradually steering the cattle towards the gathering point. Helicopters have enabled farmers to carry out large-scale livestock operations with confidence. Cattle are spread across vast areas to fatten up for Asian beef export markets. Farmers also use helicopters to rescue cattle trapped in hard-to-reach areas like marshes, high mountains, or dense forests. In Switzerland, 12 cattle were airlifted down a mountain after being injured to keep the animals safe during the ascent. The cattle hang suspended beneath the helicopter by a long cable. Countries like Australia and in some parts of the US are also using drone technology to manage cattle herds, especially in vast areas where traditional herding methods are time-consuming and less effective. Drones are programmed to fly at specific altitudes and speeds to guide cattle in a certain direction. After locating the herd, the drone approaches. The noise and movements of the drone startle the cattle, causing them to move away, making it easier for farmers to direct them towards grazing zones or enclosures. Ensure a year-round food supply for the livestock. Farmers can easily observe their fields from a comprehensive aerial perspective, allowing them to identify any crop issues, particularly during the growing season. Before pests damage the crops, drones equipped with high-resolution cameras and sensors can help farmers detect infestations. The real-time imaging and coverage provided by drones also allows farmers to inspect irrigation systems. Thermal sensors can reveal if fields are too wet or too dry, enabling them to adjust irrigation accordingly. This ensures optimal water supply. In California, drones are also used to protect farms and cattle from potential predators. Once the target position is identified, farmers can move into this area to hunt. This method makes hunting more efficient